What's going on, everybody? We're going to have the 1,000 subscriber giveaway this Friday night at 10 p.m. right here on the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. Make sure you check out in the description below the playlist for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway so that you can find out how to get entered into all the cool giveaways that we're having. It's going to be a lot of fun. Probably going to go for a couple of hours, so be ready and be ready to win some cool free stuff. It is another beautiful day here in the hills of Eastern Kentucky, and today we're going to talk about new comic book day on a budget. If you only had $25 to spend, what books would you buy? Find out next. I'm Jimmy Don Kerr, and this is the SmallTown Collectibles YouTube channel. So before we jump into talking about new comic book day on a budget, if you haven't already, hit that subscription button, turn on that notification bell so that you get notified when I put out new content. Smash that like button if you like the video, and leave a comment below and let me know what you think about the video, what you think about the format, what books would you replace if you're on a budget. Like, you know, what books would you be looking at if you were on a budget? Would love to hear your feedback on that. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the list this week. I had an incredibly difficult time, and I'm not joking, and it is really hard when you're on a budget to sometimes decide what books you want when there's so many cool books out every week. And like, I really did. I had a difficult time this week. So before we jump in, I like to say this every week, guys. This list is a matter of preference. I try to take my preference out of it. The books that, you know, maybe that I want, and really look at it as if I was on a budget, how do I get the biggest bang for my buck? And that's what we try to do here, because like I said it every week, you cannot spend the mortgage money, the rent money, the grocery money on comic books as bad as you may want to. I struggle with it every week myself. With that out of the way, let's jump into this list. So the first book that I chose was Army of Darkness, 1979, number 2, the variant by Tony Fleecs. Tony Fleecs is the co-creator of Stray Dogs, and this particular variant has the main character of the book with the Stray Dogs on the cover. Everything Stray Dogs is really hot. This is actually a pretty good title. Like, I really enjoy the book. You know, Ash is a kind of an iconic character, and to have that iconic character with the Stray Dogs, you know, a new really hot book that is most definitely going to probably get made into a TV show at some point with the success that the book had. I just think it's a no-brainer on this one. So Army of Darkness, 1979, number 2, the variant by Tony Fleecs, is the first book on the list this week. So the cover price of this book is $3.99. We start with our $25 budget. We spend that $3.99, and we're at $21.01 left to spend. Okay, so the next book is strictly for a read. And when I start doing this list, I sit down with probably put down 10 books. Here's what they cost. And then I start trying to whittle the list down. Like, what can I live without? What can I? And I kept coming back to this book. I would take it off, and I'm like, no, you know, that sounds cool. I want to read it. So that book is Batman the Imposter, number 1, with a cover price of $5.99. You get the first appearance of an imposter Batman in this book. Now, the synopsis reads like this, and this is what kept drawing me back to it. Bruce Wayne's mission as the Batman has only been underway for a year or so, so this is early on in Batman's career. But he can tell he's making a difference. Unfortunately, he's also making a bunch of powerful enemies. All the traditional power brokers of Gotham resent the disruption that Batman has brought to the town, and it seems one of them has a plan to neutralize him. There's a second Batman haunting Gotham's rooftops and alleys, and this one has no qualms about murdering criminals live on tape. When the entire might of the Gotham Police Department and Gotham's rich and power coming down on Batman's head, he must find the imposter and somehow clear his name. But how can you prove your innocence from behind a mask? So just the concept of that, I think, sounds really cool. You know, you've got a second Batman out there, he's murdering everybody. They don't know that it's not the real Batman, and you've got to clear your name but you're behind the mask. I don't know, it just sounds cool. And the fact that you've got a Batman out there, I don't know that this story's ever been written before. If it has, I haven't read it, but I think that sounds really, really cool. That's Batman the Imposter #1. All right, so as I said, the book's $5.99. We spend that, we got $15.02 left. What's our next book? I chose Star Wars, The High Republic Trial of Shadows #1 with a cover price of $3.99. Now, why did I choose this book? The Star Wars books, in my opinion, haven't been real strong of late. But with Disney Plus, you can't really go wrong. And any book that has a first appearance, specifically of like a bounty hunter or a Jedi Knight, I think is a key book to pick up. In this book, you get the first appearance of Slant Holt, a private detective, and the first appearance of Emmerich Cafator, a Jedi Knight. You also get the first appearance of a character called Arathat. So, like I said, I think with, it's kind of like Stray Dogs. Everything Stray Dogs is hot, and it seems like everything Star Wars is hot too. So this is a book that I would definitely grab and stick back with the hope that someday, with one of the new Star Wars shows coming out, that one of these characters pops up, and then you've got a book that's probably worth some money. So this is a book, read it, see what the story's like, but you're primarily purchasing this book to stick back in your long box, short box, whatever, and seeing if down the road it pans out as a first appearance and gain some heat so that you can sell it. If you want to sell it, you can sell it, make some money, and purchase maybe a grail or put some money towards a grail that you're maybe looking to purchase. So that's why I chose that book specifically. Is there were just so many books, and it was, like I said, another one where I came back, I just kept coming back to it, and I was like, I just don't think I can leave that one laying on the table or on the cutting room floor, so to speak. So Star Wars, The High Republic, Trial of Shadows #1, $3.99 cover price. We spend that money, we've got $11.03 left to spend. All right, now, this final book, I literally flip-flop back and forth. And I think for you, if you're choosing between these two books, you're probably going to do the same thing. And that is The Immortal Hulk #50 or Batman The Audio Adventure Special #1. All right, so I think it depends on where you're at. Like, I took Immortal Hulk off the list, but this has been one of the great runs in Hulk books that Al Ewing's put out. It's like any other comic book. Like, the first 25 issues were really strong, and then like the next 24 were up and down, like most comic books are. But I gotta finish this off. I gotta finish off #50, and this is a giant-sized issue. Okay, and kind of all the things, and I don't want to spoil it for you, but kind of all the things that the Hulk's been going through, trying to find out why he's immortal. He starts to get the answers to all these things. And so, for me, I think it's going to be that book. It has a $9.99 cover price. So that's pretty much going to eat up the rest of our budget. It's essentially a $10 book. So you spend that and you got $1.04 left. Now, the Batman book, The Audio Adventures, is a prequel to a show that's going to be coming out on HBO. And it's my belief that once HBO really gets a handle on the DC universe, kind of like with Titans, this season of Titans has been just off the chain. Like, it's been so much better than I think the first two. And I think HBO, as they start doing this and these shows gain popularity, the DC books will start to gain value very much like the Marvel books do today with the MCU. I think this is what DC's been looking for. Solid story writing, solid production, and just solid direction on the screen. And so I think you could switch out, if you're not an Immortal Hulk fan, you haven't read it, you're not a Hulk fan, you're more of a DC guy. I think the Batman Audio Special #1 is a book that you could pick up and slide in its place, and it's the exact same price. So I think, depending on preference, maybe the Immortal Hulk #50 or the Batman book, you can switch, kind of in and out here. And I literally, before doing this video, this was the last book. Like, I got rid of everything, and I kind of come down, and I had my budget left, and I had essentially $11 roughly to spend. And I had those two books, and it was almost impossible for me to decide, because I think there's a lot of potential with the Batman Audio Special, but the Immortal Hulk #50, this has been an iconic run. It truly has. and you know something good, I have to finish the story. So that's why I put it here on the list for myself. And if whatever suits you as far as that book and the Batman book, I think, you know, if you're using this list as kind of a guide what to buy, I think you just got to pick yourself, you know, what's most important to you and decide. Now, as I do every week, I like to throw an honorable mention book in because I'm taking these prices from Midtown and I'm taking full retail price. Even on Midtown, they give a 10% discount. A lot of stores, a lot of comic book LCSs give even a bigger discount. But I'm using Midtown as my control just because it's easy access of information. So the book that I chose is the honorable mention this week. So if you get your discount, you can buy one more book. I picked the Eternals Forever #1. I don't think this book necessarily is going to have any real value long term, but I think it would be good to, because this is kind of a one-shot that reintroduces the Eternals before this movie comes out. So I think for me, it would be good to get that, kind of see what the comic book characters are, kind of see where they're coming from and how it ends up getting translated to the big screen. So yeah, if you do that, you spent your entire $25 and you've gotten 5 books in this case this week. All right, guys, that was it. This was a rough video to do. I'm not joking. Like, number one, I left my microphone and my camera at my office because I've been having to film videos there. I thought I was going to have to film this video there. Ended up having to come back for a volleyball game and had to work concessions again, and then had to come here and record this late. And so I left my camera there, so I'm having to do this on my phone. That's why it looks different from some of the others that I've done. Kind of all over the place right now. You know, COVID spoiled me. We're back in it full bore with the kids and work and doing all those things. So I'm sure you guys are too. I'll quit whining and complaining here and wrap this thing up. I hope you guys have a great new comic book day, and I really appreciate you taking a minute to come over here and hang out on the channel with me for a little bit. You don't know how much I appreciate it. Make sure you join us Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're going to give away a ton of prizes, guys. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. You're going to get introduced to a whole lot of really cool channels. I'm basing the show around Gary B. the Casual Comic Guy's Grow Together initiative, and you'll see what I mean as we get into that, and kind of how we're going to run the show. But come join us, have some fun, get lucky, win some free stuff, some cool slabs, Funko Pops, signed prints, all kinds of cool stuff, guys. We're giving away a ton. All right, guys, that is it for me. I'll let you guys go now. Quit rambling. Have a great new comic book day. I know I'm going to. And as I always end these things, until next time.